Alright guys, the walls of ASO Rock are shaking as the US government issues powerful and direct warning to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over Nigerians' widening insecurity and the alarming IDPs crisis under the APC government. Tension is rising at the highest levels of power as this bold message sent shockwaves across the nation and beyond. So guys, what I don't even understand is that the Nigerian media play all these things. So if una see, if una they know wetin dey happen for some remote villages, that the ones when they show us or when we hear for social media now what they say, Nigeria don't waka, Nigeria don't waka. You understand? Nigeria don't finish. This insecurity is taking Nigeria to nowhere. You get. The most painful part of it is that na Western world, they are not them come they tell Nigeria and say, you people are in trouble. Why our leaders are telling us that insecurity in Nigeria has been well taken care of. Everywhere okay, everywhere bam. So guys, I'm going to drop this video. You go watch them, you go see them by yourself. So please, don't go away. I beg. Stay, make you understand wetin dey happen. Everybody must be vigilant. So don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to share, subscribe for more explosive updates on Nigerians politics scene. This is Prospect Channels TV. Alright guys, I'll be right back.
Is responsible for 90% of all Christian persecution deaths worldwide in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
And no one hears about it. No one's talking about it.
You know, that's one of the things that I learned reporting on this, is that on the very day that 9/11, that the attacks happened in the United States, the same people who were on those planes, and I mean in the sense of they were carrying the same flag and they were saying the same slogans and they were standing for the same ideology, walked into a village in northern Nigeria and massacred over 200 Christians. And that village was called Rankum, and it was renamed in the language of the Fulani. They took that village and they renamed it Mahanga because it is essentially the command and control center of this genocide.
The interesting part is that the Nigerian government knows it. The U.S. government should know it, and if they're paying attention, I hope they know it now. But this is where the majority of terror attacks are staged and launched from. And like I said, everybody in Nigeria knows where it's coming from. They see the terrorists coming in and out of Mahanga.
And they chose Mahanga. I mean, it translated, the word means watchtower.
Watchtower.
Because it's on high ground. And it was perfectly positioned for them for what began as a series that's now more than 20 years of attacks.
20 years of attacks, and tens of thousands, no, I'd say hundreds of thousands, have now been killed, staged from that ground.
And wounded and forced out.
Now, let's talk about the people that are still alive. They're now in camps called IDP camps, which stands for Internally Displaced Person. And we estimate that there's between 3 to 5 million IDPs right now. These are Christians without homes, without villages, that are living in camps.
These are people who've been robbed of everything they had, who've been forced off their land. The Nigerian government won't even acknowledge their existence.
No, they won't acknowledge their existence, and this it's a double-edged sword. When the Nigerian government doesn't recognize an IDP camp within their own country, that means there's no UN, that means there's no Red Cross, that means there's no other NGO, official government organization, USAID, or what used to be USAID, means those people get zero help if the Nigerian government doesn't establish and say, this is an official camp. And we know that Nigeria government only recognizes 40% of the camps that exist. So that means 60% of these millions of IDPs get zero help from the outside world.
There was no Truth Nigeria. There was no media organizations. And you know what was happening to those people? To Lawrence and Masara Kim and all of them? The journalists sitting in the big capital cities, the big cities and in the capital, who were taking the line from the government and didn't have the courage or the integrity or the professionalism or the character or the motivation to go to those frontline villages. They just bought the line from the government that it wasn't really happening, and they bought the line from the U.S. State Department that this is nomadic tribesmen being forced to move from climate change. The Fulani are not really terrorists. Oh, the fact that they're Muslims got nothing to do with it. Because they're nomadic tribesmen, they're looking for other land. They're looking to go somewhere, and that's forcing them to clash with the Christian villages. Nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. That is just an example to you of how climate has been used as a scam. I mean, it's not just fake, it's much worse than that. All of these systems that are being implemented that are so profoundly dishonest, they're systems of control. How do we control the people, control the information and the narrative, and then have that as cover to do whatever it is that we want to do? Which, by the way, is to go into Christian villages and not only annihilate people. I mean, in one of the recent attacks that Truth Nigeria has reported on, putting women and children inside cages in the market and burning them alive. I mean, I was sitting down to a dinner in my hometown in Texas one Friday night years ago. My husband was with me. It was when we were trying to get the Sound of Freedom was being blocked because people didn't want child trafficking to be a conversation everyone was having. And we were doing our best to help get that movie put out. And I got a video. I showed it to my husband as we sat down. He couldn't eat. And it was a young 18-year-old girl from Nigeria who was pulled from one of the villages. And as they were slicing off her head, they were digging her baby out of her tummy. And she was well advanced in pregnancy. That's the reality of what, when you put those numbers up and you go before your colleagues in Congress and you put those numbers forward, that's what it means in human terms. I mean, Lawrence once was calling Doug and myself, he's sitting in the back of a meat wagon on the bodies of his friends and neighbors with malaria. Remember, after that he went out with malaria for weeks. I mean, these the courage of the people who are on the front lines reporting this cannot be overstated. But the challenge that they face is that the media itself denies the reality that they see and report on with their own eyes and ears. I mean, that's without conscience. Honestly, I stand before all of you in the National Press Club of the United States of America, the most powerful free nation on earth, where we have First Amendment rights. And I cannot say strongly enough to the press corps, do your job. Do your job. Because we are supposed to be the inspiration and also the safety net for journalists everywhere. It is truly without conscience that you can witness the execution of people and have it denied because journalists are too lazy, too corrupt, too stupid, too cowardly to stand up and tell the truth. That is without conscience. And, we have to stop being afraid of what people will say to us. We have to stop allowing those who tell the truth to be punished and those who lie to be rewarded.
The NIM, what came out of it? The security we are supposed to fight with it. It didn't got worse after NIM. It got worse. 6 students of law students now are in their den, and they have been communicating with the parents and relatives of those students that they need 120 million. Later they now say 50 million each. They are talking with them on phone. Nobody can trace where it's coming from. Nothing. You can see what we are talking about. Nigeria, we have all the opportunity to move forward, but we are not. We have the wrong persons in office. Somebody should have been prosecuting Pantami by now because he deceived the whole nation. I'm not joking. You remember this happened during COVID-19. People struggle to go. They can't access their bank, whatever, because of NIM. After all those efforts and all they told us, nothing came out of it. Insecurity became worse. Is that what they are doing over there? And they are moving forward. You cannot cheat the system over there. They will trace you. That number, it follows you to the grave. But here, with all the nonsense, verification here and there, we have NIM, we have driver's license, we have international passport, we have BBN, yet fraud is...
Where is the list? Where is the list? People, these are things that are supposed to spark a national protest if we're a reasonable and sensible society. Let's make this a hashtag. Where is the list? I think former President Muhammadu Buhari has a lot to tell us. He owes us a lot. And we're appealing to President Tinubu now to help us ask, where is the list? It was under your watch that the United Arab Emirates sent a list of sponsors of terrorism. Up till today, we are yet to have anyone that is prosecuted. It was under your watch that the governor of Benue State, Otom, said that the government is working with Saudi, with Turkey and other countries towards Islamization. That is an indictive statement. I have not seen where Utom has been prosecuted in that regard. I have not seen any situation where he withdrew that comment. It was under your watch that the former boss of NIA, the retired Commodore Okunloye or something, came out to say that there are a lot of hardliners in this government that are working with this terrorist organization. People in the government that are working sponsors of this terrorism. The man is still alive. We're yet to see the list or hear any name mentioned in that regards. Nobody is yet to be prosecuted. Where is the list? Where is the list? See, the solution to our problem is already in the public domain. But what we keep doing is when it comes, it attracts momentum and all of a sudden is swept under the carpet. That is what we have been doing. But the solution is here. Hashtag, where is the list? It was still under your watch that Obida Melafia of Let the Blessed Memory came out to say that there is even a sitting governor that is a commander in this terrorist act. Where is the list? People, where is the list? Help me ask, where is the list? And to President Tinubu, if you can't provide that list to us, we will want to assume you are colluding with the system as well. Where is the list, people? Hashtag, where is the list?
Alright guys, thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. Please subscribe, like and share, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Please share this video. Let Nigerians understand what is happening today. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye for now.